I believe that President Trump does not but does not I do not want to involve myself in politics, but the fact of the matter is that those who are members in the administration have been trying to provoke, agitate, create the necessary grounds for the war or conflict with Iran. So as far as the President is concerned, the thing that he said today is not something new to us, because that was our belief. As Iran is not interested in, or we do not want to see war or conflict in our region. So those who have been trying to create stability and security in the region, they should be taken care of.
The Supreme Leader has said Iran doesn't want war. President Trump has said he doesn't want war. But you're saying conflict is still really a risk.
Nobody knows what's going to happen as long as there are armada in our region, there are fleets in our region, there are bombers in our region, and the question that we ask is why these armada are in the region? What has been going on? The fake intelligence, which has been the root cause of all these events, should be tackled, should be taken care of, and we believe that as soon as we get rid of these fake intelligence, all of us will feel much better.
What's the fake intelligence?
The fake intelligence, it says that Iran is culprit for the problems in the region. The fake intelligence, it says that Iran is creating instability in Iraq. The important issue is that even these intelligence reports are not being accepted by American allies. So these are the root causes of the problems in our region.
But U.S. intelligence is that Iran is placing missiles in small boats in the Persian Gulf. U.S. intelligence says they have evidence of that. Do you deny that?
I'm not a military man, but what I can tell you is that we do not fire missiles out of dhows. We do not fire missiles out of small boats. Everybody knows that that cannot be possible. We need to have launchers to fire a missile. So if they have favorable information, why don't they declassify them and make it known to the American people as well as to the people of the world? As long as they cannot share this intelligence, so-called intelligence, which we call fake intelligence, as long as they cannot share those information with the general public, I think there is no utility in saying that these information are fake.
There are reports that Qasem Soleimani, that a military man, I know you said you're not one, but he certainly is, that he has directed proxies in the region, and that there is a threat to U.S. forces in the Middle East right now.
These are part of the same propaganda tools that Americans are employing. These are the same fake intelligence that are being used to provoke, as I said. And just look at the people who have been creating these intelligence reports. Those who were responsible for the Iraqi invasion back in 2003 are the same people who are trying to create a conflict in our region.
You're talking about Ambassador Bolton.
I don't want to name any names, but he has been definitely one of the persons who have been. It is known here in the U.S. as well as in Europe that he is the one who is trying to find ways to create a war between Iran and the United States.
You're a diplomat. Are you talking to any Americans to lower these tensions right now?
I think we are not at that stage yet. The reason is quite clear. You cannot have intimidation, you cannot have pressure, and at the same time calling for a dialogue. Dialogue and pressure and intimidation do not go hand in hand. They are mutually exclusive. We cannot start a dialogue with somebody who is trying to create problems for you, trying to intimidate you, trying to coerce you. Coerce diplomacy does not belong to the 21st century. it is outdated. But unfortunately, the US administration is trying to intimidate others into dialogue, and that policy definitely cannot be successful with Iran, as it has not been successful so far.
President Trump says he wants to start talks with Iran. When we were here speaking to Minister Zarif in April, he said Iran's willing to talk to anyone willing to respect the Iran deal, that Iran would be willing to discuss prisoners. It sounds like both sides are willing to talk, but you're speaking past each other. Why can't you get to a table to negotiate?
Because the answer is quite simple. As I said, you cannot have dialogue while you consider big brother role for yourself, preaching your smaller brother. See, this is exactly what the US is doing. They want to have the stick in their hands, trying to intimidate Iran, at the same time calling for a dialogue. What type of a dialogue is this? I mean, it cannot be considered a serious dialogue. It seems that those, as I said, those hardliners in Washington, they are not interested in a dialogue at all, because just look at the way that they talk to Iran, just look at the propositions that they have put forward for Iran, and you come to the conclusion that they are not interested to a dialogue.
Are you speaking with anyone in Congress?
We have been talking to some members of Congress, but not recently. But this is the usual practice that we do once in a while.
Who are you speaking with?
I haven't spoken to anybody in the Congress.
But you make a point that one of the leaders of the Senate finds that the body is very difficult to reach and phone number and contact information. Are there Democrats in those key positions who are in touch with Iran?
I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't been in contact with any members of Congress, and I don't know the exact answer.
But is there a diplomatic way out? Are there some channels to try to pull off these tensions?
As I explained earlier, we are not interested to see the escalation of tension in the region, and we are not seeking war. The war is not an option for us. I think it will be detrimental to the security of the whole region if, God forbid, we will have a conflict in our neighborhood, because that would be detrimental to the whole region. That would be disaster. The Americans started the war back in 2001 against Afghanistan. They started the war back in 2003 against Iraq, and they are still dealing with those problems. So they should understand that the policy of maximum pressure is not working with Iran. They have to reconsider this position. It is counterproductive. It creates resentment by the Iranian people towards the United States. It is creating problems. The sanctions are creating hardships for the Iranian. I'm afraid that the American people cannot subscribe to a policy which are creating hardships for people in other nations. Besides, this policy of maximum pressure is not shared by your closest allies. So the US is somehow isolated in the international arena, and they should be considered their position towards Iran.
Lastly, you were one of the key nuclear negotiators. Iran has now threatened to stop sending heavy water and enrichment again as soon as this summer. That sounds a lot like a threat to do away with that nuclear agreement.
It is not a threat. It is an expression of facts. We waited for and since last year, we haven't been able to receive the dividend, economic dividend of the nuclear deal. So how should we expect them to unilaterally implement the multilateral deal?
That fire you're talking about will escalate. If Iran is saying it will restart working with the program, isn't that adding to the escalation?
We don't think so. I think if more parties, if the other participants of the nuclear deal do their job, I think even less than 60 days, we go back, reverse our decision, and go back to the full implementation of the nuclear deal.
You think there is a way out?
I think so.
You are going back to Iran?
This is in my program to go back, but the date is not known yet.
Okay. What what is your mission when you go back home? What is the message you bring?
The same message that I'm sharing with you. Definitely the people in Tehran are looking at the different stories here in the US as well as in other parts of the world, in Europe and in other places, and we will discuss how to deal with the situation.
And you think there's a way to avoid conflict?
This is our hope. This is what we are striving for, and we hope that wisdom will provide, and those hardliners who want to bring the whole region into conflict, they will not be successful.
I think we hear conflicting signals. President Trump says one thing, Secretary Pompeo puts 12 conditions for negotiations with Iran, which means surrender, and I think he should be doing it.
But he has held out the hand. He said, gave a compliment to Rouhani, saying, I imagine he's a very interesting man. That he could
I didn't say interesting man. That's a lovely man.
Lovely.
But I don't know at what time of the day he said that, morning, afternoon.
He's offered a new set of...
No, he didn't. You see, we negotiated not a 2-page document and a photo op. We negotiated a 150-page document. Every detail is spelled out. I can assure you, as somebody who negotiated it, and you can ask John Kerry or any of the European foreign ministers who negotiated the deal, or Federica Mogherini or Cathy Ashton, nothing can be done that is better than this deal. It's not all we want, and certainly not all the United States want, but it is the best that could be achieved between 6 world powers plus EU and another country which is proud to stand on its own feet.
Some of your colleagues have made it clear that once America pulls out of the deal, it's going to be very hard to keep the deal alive because of the mounting economic pressure at home, which, as you know, is also creating more political pressure at home. How much longer can the deal survive?
Well, I'm not a fortune teller, so I don't know.
You said yourself that your patience is limited.
It is limited because, as I said in my statement,